something explosive just went down in hip-hop, and trust me, this makes the Kardashians look like a quiet church picnic. Out of nowhere, Charleston White hopped on live, opened his mouth, and unleashed the most disrespectful tirade at King Harris. So wild, so reckless, so unfiltered that the entire internet froze like they were buffering on dial-up. And the second I saw it, oh, he didn't just respond. He detonated like a nuclear button got stepped on. People are calling this the moment that turned Instagram into a digital WWE ring. 1 minute King Harris is minding his business. The next Charleston White is throwing verbal elbows harder than a Real Housewives reunion. The disrespect wasn't mild, it wasn't playful, it was the type of violation that makes you check if your Wi-Fi is glitching because there's no way. A grown man just said that on Live. And now, T.I., a father, a rapper, a legend, and a man who does not tolerate disrespect is officially done playing nice. The energy shifted, the vibe snapped, and the smoke level just went from kitchen fire to call the National Guard. Because if you thought T.I. versus Lil Flip was wild, you haven't seen nothing yet. Charleston White waking up and choosing chaos is nothing new, but this time, he didn't just choose violence, he chose career-ending disrespect. Pressed the gas pedal through the floor and went full demolition derby on King Harris' name. It all started during one of Charleston's classic unhinged live streams, where he usually bullies celebrities like he's auditioning for a villain role nobody asked him to play. But instead of his usual ranting, Charleston went into a level of disrespect so personal you'd think King Harris stole his lunch money in kindergarten. The man was swinging verbal sledgehammers like he was trying to knock down a mansion. King Harris, who was literally minding his young retort than everyone's business, suddenly became the main character of a meltdown that the internet still hasn't recovered from. Charleston wasn't criticizing music, wasn't joking around, no. He was torching egos like a bored dragon. Every sentence was hotter than the last, every insult sharper than a Ginsu knife commercial, and people watching the live went from laughing to saying, "Yo, is T.I. seeing this? Because this man is not gonna survive the morning." And he did see it. Oh, he saw it immediately. Because Instagram doesn't wait, the internet doesn't breathe, and screen record warriors do not sleep. Within minutes, a clip of Charleston calling out King Harris was everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, group chats, even your auntie accidentally reposted it while trying to share a recipe. The video spread faster than a rumor in high school hallways and with every new platform. Charleston sounded even more reckless. King Harris fans jumped in immediately. Some were genuinely hurt. Some were defending him like they were on payroll. And others were just eating popcorn watching the chaos unfold. People were dropping tweets like, "Charleston gotta chill and T.I. ain't gonna let this slide." Because everyone knows Tip is protective of his family like a lion with a ring light. And when someone crossed the line with his son, that's when things get biblical. The exact moment T.I. saw the clip, you could practically feel the internet shake. They said he went from calm to "bring me my phone. This ends now in 0.4 seconds. The sigh he let out probably echoed through his mansion. Because T.I. is the type of man who usually tries to talk things out, tries to educate, tries to take the grown approach. Until you drag his kid. That's when the Southern gentleman disappears and the Atlanta legend clocks in for overtime. But before T.I. clapped back, the world needed context, and that's where this whole saga gets messy. King Harris has been making headlines lately, but nothing too crazy. Typical rich kid drama, viral clips, online arguments, everyone talking about Nepo baby this, Nepo baby that, while the kid's just trying to live his life without being turned into a meme. Meanwhile, Charleston White has made a full career out of instigating problems like a human smoke machine. Some days he attacks rappers, other days he calls out influencers, and once in a while he just wakes up and insults random people for cardio. So what made him go after King Harris? Rumors say he saw a clip of King talking confidently online and took it personally. Like King was challenging Charleston for the title of most unnecessary loud person on the internet. Others say Charleston just needed a new celebrity to harass for views because his rent was due. Whatever the motivation, Charleston didn't hold back. He was roasting King so aggressively that even people who didn't like King were like, "Okay, bro, that's too far." Then came the moment that flipped everything upside down. A leaked clip of Charleston laughing while repeating the insults, bragging about how ain't nobody gonna check him, like he was untouchable. That clip hit T.I.'s feed like an earthquake. You could see the frustration building. Fans noticed Tip posting cryptic messages like "patience has a limit," and mine just expired. That sentence alone told everyone the gloves were off. Meanwhile, King Harris was trying to respond calmly at first, saying he didn't care and wasn't bothered. But you could hear the irritation in his voice. You can only watch someone verbally stomp on your name for so long before you're ready to say something. And the internet, being the messy friend it always is, kept tagging King under every Charleston clip like they were trying to add fuel to a bonfire. People were clowning Charleston for attacking a teenager like a bitter youth football coach who got fired. Others were clowning King for responding at all. It was a full circus. Popcorn, clowns, ringmaster, elephants, everything. Memes were dropping left and right. One tweet said, "Charleston White be too excited to bully teenagers. Somebody get this man a hobby." Another said, "I typing a paragraph right now. I can feel IT." They weren't WRONGT. I finally snapped. Not in a chaotic way, but in a "let me articulate this disrespect with perfect grammar so you really feel it" way. He hopped online.com but furious, voice steady but dangerous, and started going off. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't ranting. He was speaking like a disappointed king addressing a disloyal village. That tone is scarier than shouting. That's the tone where you know a man is about to call everybody's auntie and get things handled the professional, old school way. He made it clear that King Harris is his child, his blood. And nobody, especially a grown man playing shock jock villain, gets to disrespect him publicly. And the internet ate it up. Comments were flooding in. T.I. had enough. Charleston done poked the wrong bear. This beef gonna turn into an audiobook because T.I. loves big words. Everyone knew this wasn't your ordinary celebrity argument. This was family pride, Southern honor, and generational ego colliding at full speed. Once T.I.'s response dropped, Charleston supporters panicked, King supporters celebrated, and neutral viewers sat back like they were watching season 7 of a show they didn't even follow. The controversy became so huge that even celebrities started chiming in, dropping their opinions, cracking jokes, and choosing sides like it was the Super Bowl of petty drama. But here's the thing. This was only the opening battle. The real madness happened next. The twists, the celebrity reactions, the internet meltdown, the unexpected clapbacks nobody saw coming. And trust me, if you thought this part was wild, the next layer of this scandal is where the whole situation spiraled into full-blown chaos. The internet didn't just react. It erupted. T.I. defending King Harris became the hottest storyline online. Hotter than Drake dropping subliminal bars at 3 a.m. suddenly. Everyone with Wi-Fi felt qualified to speak on the situation. Influencers, rappers, retired SoundCloud artists, shade pages, conspiracy theorists, everybody chimed in like they were on payroll for this drama. Twitter turned into a digital courtroom. TikTok turned into a comedic reenactment studio. And YouTube became the official reaction hub for every loud uncle with a ring light. Memes were hitting the timeline faster than Charleston hits the go live button. One meme had King Harris photoshopped onto Simba with T.I. as Mufasa roaring, "You deliberately disobeyed me." Another meme had Charleston as the villain from The Incredibles, with the caption, "If everyone's famous, nobody is." People were treating this beef like it was the season finale of a show that had been slow all year and suddenly remembered it had to entertain us. Then came the celebrity reactions. And that's when the scandal evolved from messy to historic. Rappers from Atlanta, former collaborators, comedians, reality TV stars, Even aging celebrities who haven't been relevant since MySpace all felt the need to hop in. One rapper tweeted, "Charleston playing with fire. Tip ain't the one." Another comedian wrote, "T.I. arguing with Charleston is like a Harvard professor beefing with a Wi-Fi troll." Why? It was pure gold. The internet was living, and Charleston. He was loving the attention. The man was feeding off the chaos like it was his breakfast cereal. He doubled down, went live again, and started talking even louder, like somebody gave him a megaphone for his birthday. He swore he wasn't afraid of T, I wasn't backing down, and was going to keep talking until somebody does something. To him, this was content. To everyone else, this was a man poking a sleeping lion with a flaming stick. On the opposite side, T.I. wasn't laughing. He was in full protective dad mode. It's the type where the forehead vein pops out and you start speaking in sentences nobody saw coming. People joked that T.I. opened the dictionary like Batman gearing up in the Batcave, ready to drop a perfectly constructed monologue that would psychologically end Charleston's entire internet career. The expectation was sky high. Would Tip go angry? Confident? Calmly threatening? Nobody knew, but everyone was waiting. Meanwhile, King Harris became a trending topic. AGAIN. Clips of him responding subtly. Clips of him ignoring it. Old interviews, childhood photos. Everything resurfaced like the internet was doing a full forensic investigation. Some fans were confused how a teenager ended up in the middle of a grown man's verbal demolition derby. Others were hyping him up for staying calm while a 40-something-year-old digital supervillain was screaming his name online. The memes grew darker and funnier. One viral post read, "Charleston White beefing with a kid is wild. What's next? He gonna beef with Dora the Explorer?" Another said T.I. preparing to drop a 17-syllable word Charleston can't pronounce. People weren't holding back at all. The chaos was too entertaining. Then the real twist happened. A leaked group chat. Screenshots started circulating. No one knew if it was real, but that never stopped the internet from believing it. The chat included messages claiming Charleston's outburst was planned to get views up for his next event. The screenshot made Charleston look like a man who wakes up with a calendar of people to insult for profit. Whether it was fake or not didn't matter. The conspiracy caught fire instantly. People were now theorizing that Charleston attacked King Harris because King gets engagement, and attacking a famous kid brings maximum attention. Others said Charleston wanted to bait T.I. into a bigger public fight because drama equals views. And honestly, it worked. His name was everywhere, louder than a DJ Khaled ad-lib during album rollout week. Just when people thought the drama had peaked, a second twist slammed the internet. A surprise reaction from an unexpected celebrity. Nobody predicted it. Nobody asked for it. But the moment it dropped, it overshadowed everything, even Charleston's yelling. A well-known comedian with millions of followers posted a video impersonating Charleston roasting King Harris, then impersonating T.I. responding. The impressions were so spot on, the internet lost its mind. The skit went viral instantly, amassing millions of views and turning the scandal into a full-blown cultural moment. Suddenly, celebrities were reenacting the feud like it was Shakespeare. TikTokers were staging dramatic readings. Rappers were making parody songs. Influencers were doing reaction videos like they actually witnessed a world war. Even sports pages were posting memes like T.I. versus Charleston has the streets hotter than the NBA Finals. The public was divided into two camps, Team T.I. and Team Charleston. Team T.I. said the beef was ridiculous. A grown man attacking a kid was crossing every line imaginable, and T.I. had every right to protect his child. Team Charleston said he was just joking, that T.I. was too sensitive, and that Charleston always keeps it real. The debates were so heated that some people lost friendships over it, like they were picking sides in a Marvel versus DC battle. And then, to throw gasoline on the bonfire, an old clip resurfaced of Charleston previously praising T.I., and the hypocrisy blew everyone's eyebrows off. People were posting side-by-side edits of Charleston saying T.I. a real one next to him violently clowning King Harris. It was like watching a man argue with his past self. Even Charleston fans were confused, commenting things like bro fighting every version of himself. The internet energy shifted again when King Harris finally threw one subtle jab that went viral instantly. Instead of anger, he responded with a calm, confident line that made Charleston look like the unhinged uncle at Thanksgiving dinner. People ate it up. They started calling King Lil Tip because the attitude, the tone, the delivery it was giving young T.I. energy, Charleston. Fans were annoyed. T.I. fans were celebrating like their team won the Super Bowl, as the twists kept coming. Bigger names started addressing the scandal. Entertainers, podcast hosts, radio personalities, even ex-rappers who had no business entering the conversation suddenly popped out like, "Back in my day, this wouldn't have happened." Everyone wanted a piece of this digital wildfire because the engagement was too good to ignore. Then came the part that shut the internet down. T.I. announced he would address Charleston again, this time with more precision, more heat, and more clarity. Fans prepared their snacks. Shade pages prepared their captions. Reaction channels cleared their schedules. Because if T.I.'s first message shook the room, this next one was rumored to be a full-blown earthquake. But before T.I. could even drop it, Charleston went nuclear again. Another live, another rant. Another moment of unnecessary volume and chaotic energy. He called out T.I. King, critics, fans, random innocent bystanders, basically anyone who breathed oxygen that day. It was like watching a man speedrun every possible wrong decision in real time. And the world sat there, watching, waiting, salivating, because if the first half of this scandal was wild, the aftermath, the consequences, the final explosion, that was about to take this saga into legend status by the time Charleston White hit Instagram with his third meltdown of the week. The internet had already crowned this beef the wildest reality show of the year. Even Zeus Network executives were somewhere silently crying because they knew they could never script something this chaotic, messy, and this unintentionally hilarious. The public didn't just watch, they dissected every syllable. Every eyebrow raise, every tone shift like this was the OJ trial for the TikTok generation. T.I. wasn't watching silently anymore. The man was clearly done with the theatrics. Every new Charleston rant was pushing him deeper into, "I tried to be civil, but you forcing my hand" territory. The pressure was cooking so loud you could practically hear the pot rattling from Atlanta to LA. People started tweeting stuff like T.I. typing with both hands right now. Tip finna drop a dissertation and Charleston better have insurance, extended warranty, and screenshots. The anticipation was cinematic. Meanwhile, King Harris was stuck living in the eye of the digital hurricane. Imagine trying to chill, trying to be normal. And every 5 minutes, someone tags you under a grown man's unhinged rant, like you're a trending hashtag instead of a teenager. King stayed calm, but you could feel the irritation through the screen. The kid held his composure like someone preparing for their final exam. Except the exam is a 48-year-old man yelling into a phone like Siri owed him money. Then the tide shifted. Suddenly, the public started questioning Charleston's obsession. Why was a middle-aged man dedicating Wi-Fi, data, and breath to dragging a teenager? Clips were circulating where even Charleston supporters were squinting, like, "Bro, this ain't it." People began comparing Charleston to the villains from old Disney movies. Loud, petty, obsessed, and somehow always wrong. One meme had him next to Scar from Lion King with the caption, "Long live the drama." And then it happened. The fallout hit. Sponsors started quietly distancing themselves from Charleston. Events that previously invited him suddenly no longer had space. Collaborators who used to hype him up were like, that's between them, which is PR language. For you're messy and I don't want to sit next to you when the ship sinks. Even platforms started reviewing content, which is algorithm language for play stupid games. When shadow bans. But the real moment the narrative flipped was when T.I. finally addressed everything with a message so calm, so eloquent, so dripping in controlled fury that the internet froze. It wasn't yelling. It wasn't threats. It was the type of tone where you know someone has reached self-control. It's level 99 and is choosing peace even though war is fully loaded in the back pocket. He talked about protecting his children, respecting family, and keeping certain boundaries sacred, and the fans ate it up like a Thanksgiving plate. People started reposting clips saying, "This Y-tip a legend. Manhandled that with class, and Charleston arguing with a dictionary now." T.I.'s calmness made Charleston look like a screaming cartoon character. The contrast was insane. It was like watching Morgan Freeman talk to a malfunctioning smoke detector. And King Harris. He gained sympathy, support, and a wave of new fans who admired how he handled the storm. Suddenly, people weren't clowning him. They were saying, he didn't deserve all that. Kid was chilling, and Charleston projecting his whole midlife crisis. The public shifted, and Charleston didn't like that one bit, because then came the final twist nobody expected. Charleston wasn't finished. Like a villain in a movie who refuses to die even after the credits roll. He went live one more time. And this time, it wasn't funny. It wasn't wild. It wasn't even entertaining. It was uncomfortable, rambling, bitter. The meltdown of all meltdowns. He started yelling about conspiracies, imaginary enemies, how the industry is against him, and how people's scared of the truth. Viewers were leaving the live like it was a haunted house. Comments went from laughing emojis to, "Bro, you okay?" to "Somebody unplug him." The meltdown backfired instantly. Suddenly, timelines were filled with posts like Charleston spiraling. This ain't beef anymore. This is burnout. Bro is fighting the wind now. Even people who used to defend Charleston couldn't deny something was off. He went from problematic comedian to full-time internet meltdown artist in 48 hours. And while Charleston flailed, T.I. quietly won the war without throwing a punch. His calmness became the final blow. His dignity became the victory lap. His message became the mic drop that Charleston couldn't recover from. It was the digital equivalent of saying, "I'm not arguing with a man who wakes up every day trying to trend." But the internet wasn't done. PODCAS started covering it. News pages started summarizing it. Commentators said things like, "This might be Charleston's downfall," or "This beef showed who really had maturity." Even celebrities who never pick sides were liking posts about T.I.'s response. When the shade room, rap pages, and comedians all start favoring the same side, that's not a feud anymore, that's a cultural verdict. Charleston tried to pivot to new topics, tried to redirect the drama, but the stain was already there. The public had seen too much. The meltdown had become the story, and T.I. He just kept posting photos, enjoying life, not acknowledging Charleston again. That silence was louder than any 10-minute rant Charleston ever recorded. King Harris walked away, with more respect than ever. T.I. walked away with the dignity of a man who rose above a circus. And Charleston walked away, well, yelling into the void like a man arguing with his own Wi-Fi router. But the final twist? This beef isn't truly over. Because Charleston is unpredictable. T.I. is protective. King Harris is growing more vocal. And the internet. It never forgets a good scandal. So while the smoke may have settled, the embers, oh, they're still glowing, waiting for the next spark, waiting for the next clip, waiting for the next viral moment in this messy, hilarious, legendary saga. And there you have it, the digital demolition derby nobody asked for, but everybody secretly enjoyed. T.I., King Harris, Charleston White, and an entire internet full of spectators who should have been at work but instead spent their whole day watching grown men beef like it's the season finale of hip-hop chaos. If this saga didn't prove anything else, it proved one universal truth. Wi-Fi beef is undefeated, and celebrities will always give us more entertainment than Netflix ever could. But before you run off to rewatch those wild lives or scroll for new memes, listen up. Don't you dare leave this video without showing some love. Smash that like button like it owes you money. Slap that subscribe button like Charleston slaps the Go Live feature every morning. And drop a comment telling me exactly whose side you're on. Team TI, Team King Harris, or Team Charleston needs a chill pill immediately. Remember, on this channel, the drama never sleeps. The scandals never take a day off. And celebrities, oh, they never stop embarrassing themselves for our entertainment. So if you want the truth, the blogs won't tell you. The stories they're scared to touch and the commentary that hits harder than TI's vocabulary. You already know what to do. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next meltdown, the next viral rant, the next celebrity caught slipping on live. Because around here, we don't just spill tea, we pour the whole kettle with style, sarcasm, and a little bit of disrespect. This has been another jaw-dropping episode of Expose Express, where the scandals are loud, the commentary is louder, and your favorite celebrities stay stressing their PR teams daily. Catch you in the next one. Stay messy, stay curious, stay locked in. Stay locked in.